Supreme Court declines to hear Led Zeppelin case. Supreme Court has declined to hear a case alleging that the band Led Zeppelin plagiarized the opening of one of its signature songs, Stairway to Heaven. This upholds a previous March ruling that landed in favor of Led Zeppelin and possibly ends the legal battle that has gone on since 2014. This original suit was filed by a band called Spirit, who I'm not familiar with. Are you?
No.
No. They had a song called Taurus that was released in 1968, and it was an instrumental. And of course, that was 3 years before Led Zeppelin released Stairway to Heaven. Now, the allegation here is that Led Zeppelin ripped off their song and then wrote Stairway to Heaven. So they were suing basically for intellectual property, copyright infringement, that kind of a thing. It says this is related to the case in 2015 on Blurred Lines, Zach, where I believe it was where they were held liable for copyright infringement from, I'm not sure what song that was. Was it a Marvin Gaye song, I think? Do you remember all this?
I'm not sure. I know that Ed Sheeran had lost a lawsuit with for Let's Get It On.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there was that one.
And this says here there have been a number of copyright infringement suits against Ed Sheeran's one here, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, and go ahead. I do remember that Blurred Lines one. It was I think it was a Marvin Gaye song.
I remember. I just don't remember what song it was that was saying. I in this particular case, I mean, I've listened to both of these, but they're similar, but why now? Both of these songs have been out for decades. I
know, right? You think, the suit started in 2014. I mean, why now? It sounds like I don't know. Is it just like a copyright troll lawyer trying to just make some cash, convince them, or I would assume the band. Why didn't the band Spirit sue in 1971 or something, or 72? Yeah,
it's Stairway to Heaven is probably the most popular classic rock song, if not the popular one of top 5, So it's not like they're just finding out about this fucking song, right? Unless they've been Alaskan bush people for the last 40 years, but still it's not there's no way they didn't know about this too. And then out of nowhere, it's hey, 2014, decades later, let's sue them for copyright infringement. It doesn't.
Yeah, the timing is a little suspect.
Timing, it doesn't make any sense to me.
This NPR story does have the two songs together, so let's take a listen here and maybe give our thoughts. All right, so I think the first one they're going to play is this Taurus song. Okay, and then here's Led Zeppelin. And of course, we've all heard that.
Yeah.
So we know the song. Now, I will say, I think, as you were saying earlier, the thing I noticed right off the bat is it sounds like it's the same chord progression, right? That sounds like that's true, right?
Yeah, it's that same walk down. Do, 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 do.
Yeah.
It's that.
Now, but there's clearly a melody to Stairway to Heaven that's not in this other one. And then after that little step down, the songs kind of move. They kind of diverge from there. So, I mean, they sound similar. You know what it almost sounds like? It sounds like maybe I was over your house and you're playing around on something, and I hear that, and then I just go and I kind of take what you were doing and improve it, basically. Kind of like. It's just it's a simple chord progression. You can't copyright a chord progression, right? And so it's really more about the melody. So it does sound similar. I am biased because Led Zeppelin is probably my favorite band. So I do have a bias here. But yeah, I think this was a good decision. Where do you fall on this?
I agree. I think unless it's I mean, the same melody, the same lyrics, the same everything. I don't see how you can call intellectual property to music. It's everything has like already been done, and everything's going to be repeated and done again. You know what I mean? It's like a 4-6-1 is the most popular chord progression like ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's done by like almost every single musician. You're not going to sue the first person to ever do a 4-6-1 chord progression.
Right. I mean, I think one of the things that was surprising to me when I learned how to play guitar, when I was a teenager, was, I actually I think I took an elective in high school after I had learned, and the teacher was showing us all these songs, and I'm like, oh, that's just DCG. Oh wait, this other song is DCG, and the same other song. That's like all these popular songs are literally the same song, just with a slightly different rhythm.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know how that would ever hold up.
No, and it appears that this thing is done. So a victory for Led Zeppelin. Although I will say it is pretty close, at least the beginning, and that it does sort of have. I think the other thing that's similar too is it does sort of have that same sort of atmospheric intro.
It has the same tone, yeah. It has the same tone and feel. I mean, very well. Who knows? Robert Plant and Jimmy Page might have heard the song and fucking ripped it off. I mean, who knows? But how can you prove it?
I think that's very possible, and I think that's normal, I guess is what I'm saying. I'd be very shocked to learn that popular musicians were not inspired by other songs that they heard and then they wrote their own. Right? I mean, that's like basic stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think intellectual property with music is very, very hard to prove that it's directly ripped off and stolen.
Yeah.
Because how do you just not claim inspiration? Like, and I think intellectual property to me, that seems to me like I tell you, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to quote Parks and Rec here. I got an idea for alcoholic yogurt called Yogurt Platinum. And you say, that's a cool idea. And then you go and make that company.
Yes.
You go and make Yogurt Platinum, right?
Right.
That to me is intellectual property. Again, how can you prove it? But still, that, like, when it comes to music, I feel like it's a lot harder.
Now, what if you told me you had an idea for alcoholic yogurt without telling me the name, and then I go start a business with alcoholic yogurt with a totally different name? What was that? Is that the difference, or like where would it be?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm saying. Like, where's like the line on intellectual property? Yeah. So there can never be another yogurt company that has alcohol in it, right? Just because you have yours, right? Then you gotta then I guess White Claw can be the only alcoholic seltzer company,
right?
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, so it is tough, but I think we're both coming into agreement on this, that this was probably the right decision, right? Because and then you could go back to every other famous song that sounds similar to some other obscure song that no one's heard of. Like in the Blurred Lines case, it was ripping off. Well, found to have ripped off another popular song, right? So that's a little bit different. You're like, oh wait, or I'm thinking of like Vanilla Ice and David Bowie, which was a lot more obvious. And Ice Ice Baby, right? That was Under Pressure.
Yep.
That one was a total ripoff. I think they just changed like one beat in the bass line.
Well, yeah. But was that considered a sample?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe they just didn't pay royalties for the sample. Was that the dispute?
Maybe. I'm not sure what the actual dispute was.
I'm not sure either, yeah. But either way, but so you give credit where you can. Yeah, and maybe that's what happened with the Blurred Lines song, was that they didn't want to. It sounded so similar, but like, I don't really want to pay for this. It's going to cost a fortune. Let's just call it our own. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is a tricky one. But I think they made the right call here.